this opportunity to be here. And I want to thank God for giving us another day on this special focus on human rights and rights and responsibility. Our focus today, we're going to be talking about the program just launched last week called Intimate Femicide, Stop Intimate Femicide. And there are times that those kind of programs, I turn our back on those programs because people are not focused, and our focus is not to put people under the impression. Why it is true that we're building up every consensus, and we're building up a strong consensus here, and in other words, to backslash. Okay. Tomorrow, probably somebody will say, well, if I knew, I would have been part of this thing on board. But I want you to understand two things. Vision is not about, well, they get the money right here now. So if you're laying on the wall, sit on the wall and wait for something to happen before you drive or your vision. But I want to encourage those of us who are drivers or people who are pregnant with vision. And, matter of fact, we have separation of everything we do. Our separation here when it comes to the ministry is different from uh, whatever thing we are doing. Is different from the organization. Community engagement is not the ministry. The ministry is Life Empowerment Network, which is evangelistic. It's going to be actually launching it in-person service in February, and the business, which is Consulting Pro, is different. We will be coming up to at our publicity up there, promote is up there, but we get in the website, we do website, we do all that. That is a different from community engagement. Now, as we come here today, we're going to be launching up the program is usually on Fridays. Now we come on Thursday at 12 o'clock. Is we're going to be talking more about human rights and responsibility. The reason why we have problem in not only in Africa, in Liberia, all over because the word responsibility has not been added. Even in America, all over the place, people want to talk about human rights and forgetting that we have responsibility. Our responsibility is to take actions and making good choices. It's not just about probably if we want to have a protest, we are free. But there are some challenges and some obligations or responsibility that goes along with it. Taking the responsibility when you want to do something, and then, well, if you're doing that thing, know that tomorrow, if in case something comes out, you are going to be responsible because you took actions. And that action you took, it might be the good action, and you're gonna yield fruits. But if you make bad choices, those are other fruit comes out when it comes to responsibility. When you look at the overall responsibility of human rights actors and pastors, CSO leaders, is sometimes not just overwhelming, probably because most of us gotten into the civil society space because well we heard somebody saying, oh, I want to open my organization, or I want to start a vision, right? But it's not just to start a vision, it's about having the passion. Because I will tell you, many of us, if we didn't have the passion, would not come this far, and we still believe in God to go forward. Because many times we think, even in ministry, probably in ministry, people, ministry is not just going to have that building you have. Oh yeah, let me buy chairs and buy some instruments and start my church. No, it's not about that. Now we got to understand rights and responsibility when it comes to human rights, because we are messing up with a lot of things. Now, when you look at the guy right on, I posted a picture with his wife that he took of life. We just launched this program last week. Stop intimate femicide. Intimate femicide is when a man take the life of his wife, or probably his fiance, or his spouse, or some family members. It's a relationship kind of death. So the victims that we're talking about have 5 children with this guy. Now, so to show you how alignment is a epidemic, and when God gave you vision, don't worry about how many person will attend. Okay, and I'm so concerned about the passion that God gave me. I'm not concerned about what somebody would want to help in the passion. I don't care about that. Why? Because if you don't, I still have the passion. And I was talking to somebody, last I think it's I think it was last month when they kept calling me about how they want to promote, the institution I should pay. So I told them, I said, you know what? If I don't have the money to do something, I don't have to force it. I'm giving myself as a volunteer. I'm doing a lot for our communities. Let be realistic. Okay, the information we share and what we're growing for the past years is it help people and still helping people on TikTok and other places. But how many of us have sown? How many of us have invested time? So I'm saying something here this morning or this afternoon in Liberia. You got to rise up. We have partnership agreement with organization, okay, and it's an MOU, and we proud of that. We want to encourage those of us who are serious about being a volunteer. Now, when somebody talk about volunteering, then somebody comes out to say, what is it volunteering? You don't even understand what is volunteering. Somebody can be applying for something and they say, oh, you got to volunteer for the first year or maybe just for 6 months. I want to see your input. Want to know. You see, because right now we have a lot coming up. We have a lot of people, different people from different culture that really are not coming there because they really want to do the work. Some of them coming because they see the work being done or they see the level of maybe maturity of that organization. So in other words, we want to encourage people. People will not follow you. I was watching, and if you watch in most of our social media platforms that are political, and they get messages out to fool the people, to make the people to be thinking that this is what happening. And so community engagement is not about politics. We are not connected to no party, never want to connect to any party. We don't want to connect to political leaders where and we're promoting that political leader because we want money for him. We are open. You can be a blessing to our organization. But what our concern is to be the bridge between the people and the government, not against government. Government is the duty bearer. Government has the right to say no to you, even if you apply for accreditation in Liberia. So when government accredits you, government is saying to you, come, let's work together. I want you to stand between the people and me. So when I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. Now for the church, we are the church and we have the most peace. We preach love, reconciliation, and faith. So if we preach love, reconciliation, we want to see people's life improved. So for government to affirm that this is good, thank God for the government. I mean, for the church to affirm that this is good, or CSO to affirm that this is good, thank God for the government. That is a responsibility. That is a must. It's not an option. Well, you can want to do it. You can want to choose not to do it, but it's not an option. Well, because that is our responsibility to buttress government effort, hold government accountable for whatever things that need to be done that is not being done. So once you stand in that gap, it means that you are not just an organization that being politicized, and that's why we have PSO and we have CSO. Now PSO are political civil society organization. What is a political civil society organization? That's one that they talk about something that try to buy more something, even though it's good, because he or she might be interested into another political, maybe a leader or somebody, thinking that by buying muffin in the government that makes them to be good. Then we have the CSO. The CSO are the ones that are there for the people and speaks to government to make things happen, and then hold government accountable if things are not happening for the people. So when you hear me say these days, it's because of the passion, because we are on these civil societies. I'm not talking about POL. I'm talking about CSO. I'm not talking about PSO. So as a CSO organization, I believe that to buttress government effort, and also as a pastor, that is our responsibility. Now, why do we preach? Go back to all the scriptures. In fact, we have more than 100 human rights scriptures that tell us about justice. So if fairness is not applied to the government, you have to speak. That means not in your message to act like you're political size in it, no, but you have to hold government accountable because you are there. You want to see your congregation grows. You want to see your offering grows. You want to see your tithe grows. So when government is playing a good role, that means if things are being really improving, I think it is somehow our responsibility to say, okay, at least thank God for this government. We can see light, we can see water, we can see probably roads. I can now go to this place. I don't have to be worried about the light in the night. Why this thing is our responsibility? Because if our members drive to work in the night or from work at night, or probably in the homes, in the community, and no light, we are not going to be fine. Rights and responsibility. So we have rights, but our responsibility to make choices. We got to be very frank with government. We got to be very frank with our leaders, with our political leaders, not because, well, we favor them, we want to be with them. Let's be realistic. At the community engagement level, that's why you hear engagement. We are not here to play about, well, games, political games. Well, I want to be on this side. No, we are not a political party, never will be. But we are a group of people that believe that when we engage people constructively, so that working together, that is the best interest down to the community level, from the home, from the family to the community to the larger society. So if I'm the church, which I am a pastor, have a ministry, okay, globally and then locally. No, our ministry, when it comes to the global ministry, the Life Empowerment Network, which I said is going to be launched in February in person. I'm not going to tell you the time, but I'm going to tell you that we are strategizing the best time that we are going to worship. But I want you to also know it's going to be global. In the morning, it's going to be global, satellite, right there, and then it's going to be wherever you are. You can just go into it. Now that is a passion. Now, so my responsibility as a pastor or maybe a minister of the gospel, if I see that this is because of this issue, that my members are not paying tithe, they are not no job, everybody crying, and I see things happening, I'll be happy as a pastor, right? Well, yes. So any pastor or bishop in Liberia are not happy about what is going on in Liberia, go back and read your scripture well, or understand what it means for you to be a bishop or pastor, and to sit and see the right thing going on that you've been praying for your own member, and then at the end of the day, the things are happening now, small, and you're not appreciating. Maybe because you have your own agenda, so you are not actually looking at what you're supposed to do as a person. It is not about you being part of the government. No, rights and responsibility. Our right is to be silent. Our right is to choose who we want to choose. But our responsibility is to make good choices, when to speak, when to buttress. Because if it wasn't for that in the government, probably you can send in your article. I mean, corporation, probably you will register, but if they find out that it's political, they can post silent. They can silence you. Why? because you didn't register because you want to be political. So those are things that we must be very careful about. We got to understand the role of the church. The role of the church and government is working together. That there's no division. The only difference is that the church play a very key part in presenting God to the people and expect the people to accept God to change their life. So if the people's life is changing, that means if government is applying effort to do whatever they are doing, that seems to be globally accepted. What is the responsibility as a pastor or bishop? Your responsibility, which is a must, is not an option. Nobody got to beg you as a pastor or bishop to say, well, government, thank you for being in the role. Nobody got to beg you. It's tangible. It's something that you can see. It's something that we can experience. So the problem, and that's what I say to all men of God, women of God. If you listen to this tape, go back and check about my friend, Emmanuel Nimley. Look what happened to him. Well, nobody wanted it to happen, but he was connected to someone who we know what happens. Okay, so you see what happening. So I'm saying that those are things that as leaders, not that you're not supposed to be part of any government. No, we are part of. You need to be part of government. Look at the guy for the UP. This guy, this pastor, this doctor, Tappet is a reverend. But you see how effective that revenue is, right? You see his strategic plan. And you see UP Party High. Revenue are great people. God gave us talents. So what am I saying here? I'm saying to all of us, rights and responsibility. No matter how you probably play a game against other party, whether you for Liberia should be our common denominator. Liberia should be our common denominator. So these things happens and we flip away from it. We don't care about certain things. When I launched the program, go back to the intimate femicide. When I launched the program last week, before that program was launched, I know there was some complaining. I know there was some misunderstanding. Oh, but it's something that almost 3 years that we've been talking about here, intimate femicide. Besides being 3 years, it is a program that is so important. It's a pandemic. And when you have vision, two things happen. You have people that will think the way they think, and they may not prioritize something because there's no money in it, or probably it seemed not to be relevant. I find anyone that was think that stop intimate femicide is not relevant, and that's what you can see. Just last week we launched. We just have this epidemic right here in America with this guy destroying his life. Many others, but this one is a lineman, even though he's a Liberian. Three, look, man, 4 children, just one day, took the life of a promising 29-year-old woman. Young, promising woman. Who he should have walked away from her life. Now, the reason why I emphasize on many times we leaders and pastors, this is why I'm a kingdom citizen. I'm not just a Christian. Because Christian go to church, Christian are follower of Christ. But Christian, that word comes from unbelievers because we are followers. But really, a kingdom citizen who believe in God, in the name of Jesus, believe in every human person. So I'm saying today that this program is all about changing people's mindset. Well, I know that many of us think in the different, the way we think, and we're developing ourselves, and then we don't care. And I'm decided to be mute when we're crossing over to 26. That's a different Jarvis. That's a different vision. That's a different mentality. That's a different approach. Because we have come to the place where we realize integrity first, yes, and the people you connect with also make you to go where you're going. So we are praying and believing God. Yes, prayer is key, but action is very crucial because God have given us the mandate from the very beginning of Scripture. He said, go and replenish, subdue the earth, have dominion over the earth. So our responsibility is not just to sit on the fence. That means we are called to go out there and we see the actions. It's not about mocking somebody because well you didn't go to march or to protest. You see, we need to have relevance, tangible reason why we must visible saying something that we can see and cautiontize ourselves as civil society leaders. We have put ourselves into a box, pastors and bishops, if not all of us. Those of us who have put ourselves into the pocket of box of a leader, and if that leader did not succeed, or maybe he's a failure, then we become failure, or probably we become, I don't know, inferior or intimidated about the next leader, not going closer to the next leader. That's why, to all of us, those of us who are leaders, be not just neutral in your choice. I envision it. I saw it. I'm seeing it. I saw it on the other side. I'm seeing it here. How many bishops in our country attended the how to call it, what are the UP, whatever, not which not supposed to be. If you're invited, you can go. But I'm talking in terms of how many will attend the next one and how many attend every. We got to put ourselves together. And sometimes we as pastors in Liberia, some of the big guys will say, I'm the father of Liberia. You can't be the father of Liberia when you are not behaving like a father. As a bishop, and whatever your position is, your responsibility to your country. If your country is doing well, whatever government you support or not, that's a must. It's not an option to say, well, it's only an option because you have your right, okay, to not, but it become a mandatory because of a nation, not a party, not a government. So you see what we're going wrong as pastors and bishops and leaders in our country. We look at human rights as an entitlement, but we also need to look at our responsibility, how we respond to human rights. Maybe we only look at the abuses, and people are abused, so we come out to talk about the abuse. But when it comes to our responsibility to respond to some of the things that we do, we fail to respond to it because it becomes probably a problem to us, or probably maybe we are not interested in doing whatever and we have to do. Okay, so it's kind of hard to talk about. So as you talk about this, I want us to have a focus to think that, well, in not one-sided, not thinking that, well, because of some of the things we do. No, it is our bound responsibility, and because we are responsible, we are not supposed to be we are not supposed to be doing anything else than to talk about the issues that raise tension, that bring us to the place where we can realize that we have no rights than any other person. Everybody has right. So our responsibility is to respond to every situation in the right perspective. So I want us to be very mindful about that. And in the sense that we as Christians, we as leaders, we as civil society leaders, we are on the fence. That means our responsibility is to say, well, thank you, government. Thank you for the role. Thank you for the light. Thank you for, what you're doing, man. But we hold you accountable. Please, you got to do this. That is our responsibility. Don't forget. So if we are silent as bishop and leaders and civil society leaders, ask yourself, go and read, go and Google and ask, what is your responsibility to buttress government effort? So when you're not appreciating government, that means you're silent. That means you are not in the interest of your country. That is the reality. And you are going to lose many members, especially the members who will learn, who understand what it means for a nation to be together. And where does it come from? From the pastors and bishops and leaders, from civil society leaders. It is not about government. It is about our nation. It's about what is going on. Because when the people who comes to your church is happy, so the community engagement is not just about engaging people who, no, it's about every walks of life, civil society, churches, leaders, imams. I have not heard the bigger bishop or the renowned bishop in our country saying to this government that is in Liberia, thank you for what you're doing, but the justice have to be done to this person. That is not being weak. That is not giving your right to them. That is not saying that you are part of the I don't know, UP or whatever party, but that is saying that you are a patriotic citizen of your country. It's going to be a disgrace to any man of God, bishop, whatever you think you are, that you put yourself into the position where you want to be silent because you feel that maybe when you speak, then the one that maybe your your imam or maybe your own God will not give you money in your pocket again, or maybe when you start to speak the right thing, that means people will withdraw from you. I think it's better to withdraw from you for you to be very patriotic to your country and to the people that you served. It's better. God been ministering to me on this. So as we talk about human rights, rights and responsibility, to those of us who are civil society leaders, let us open our eyes. Let us know that our responsibility as civil society leaders or civil society groups, we are not political party. We are in the informal politics. We hold government accountable, but then we also affirm the good things that government doing. We buttress government effort. That's what we are there for. The place government cannot reach, NGOs and different organizations reach there. We are working in line with government. So in other words, we need to speak to the points where the ills in our society. We have things coming on. This won't happen. Well, you say that all these great organizations left Liberia, but we see the government still functioning, and maybe functioning more than when they were there. So can you see the level of things that is going on? The president does not even know me. You might just know, well, okay, I know one guy, but none of them know what I know. Maybe besides the information minister who we were friend right there in Nigeria. But many of the guys don't know me. But let me tell you something today. As you speak about these issues, go back and ask yourself, what is your responsibility? Human rights and entitlement. Now, I have a right to the guys who even have the protest. You have a right to protest. Okay, everybody have a right. You are entitled to your right. That's something you see is not right. You have to protest. But sometimes we got to look at the way we approach it and the associates that makes people to feel that, well, these people not serious. They are not for the people. They are speaking for political reason, right? And they want to condemn what is happening, and well, and then like nothing happening. And I would say to all Liberians, this is not something that go check all my profile from the beginning of my life, and even in Liberia. I'm not one of the sycophants, and never will be one of the sycophants. Never want to be. No. If you want to support our initiative, we welcome you. We need money, we need vehicle, we need all these things. But where there is a problem, where there is this unity, where we can see the gaps, if other people did not do it, let us raise our voices. Let us refront. I look at certain posts on Facebook. People don't have anything to post against government. If you don't have anything to post against government, you don't have to post something that is not relevant. So those of us who are on social media, especially with the community engagement. We've been here for 5 years. Our reason of being on social media, our presence is very high, is because that is where we started, and social media is a beat, if you don't know, of lies. Good things happens, but we have wrong things happening with people who have, they claim they have a lot of people following them, so they use their platform for political games. They are not serious about the Liberian people. I will tell you, when I heard one of the political leader, I'm not going to call his name, everybody know him, and he want to be president of a country, even though he have not come or even second, third place, but he want to be president for a country that have, some different crowds time and time. And then you see something happening and you say nothing has happened. That's what make me to be very, I feel so bad about any leader that would say nothing has happened. Let's be realistic. Let us not do it as if, well, we're against this person. So anything they do, whether right or wrong, then we will say, let citizen of Liberia, let us be realistic to ourselves. Forget about political people put our heads together. They are going to put our heads together as young people, especially the young people. Let us be realistic to ourselves and to our future generation. This is not about party. That's why I'm sorry. I can be your political, I can be your human rights advisor, but I'm not. I don't want to serve in politics, in government, when it comes to putting myself into politics. So to be neutralized, that's where I am. Why you buttress government effort? You must be in a neutral position. You love an individual. That one, don't mistake me. I'm in love an individual for their patriotism and for their hard work. I'm gonna continue to praise them. That's my right. That's my right. But when it comes to taking a party or saying, yeah, this is the difference between telling people when this woman make the music of this Carmen Gun out, thank God for her. When she made the music and somebody came out and said nobody, I think she should follow this person. You know why it's signal to those people that you said it to? It's signal a bad repetition. That should not be. Leave them with their conscience. She making a music telling this woman thank you for what she sees going on. She has the right to say it. So why would somebody have the right? Everybody has the right to express, and somebody express it. Leave them with what they say, and let them exercise their right. Somebody has the right to say something, but when you lie, somebody on Facebook will tell you, say, you ain't lying. They have the right to tell you you're lying. You got to justify it because you want to pretend that you are producing something good in order for other people who are ignorant to follow you and that you keep lying to them. No patriot Liberian. I talk about lawyers. I see lawyers on Facebook acting like bringing a lot of lies. Those things can affect our future. It's not about politics. Let put politics aside. Let work together. Let go ahead. I got friends who have different views, but it is not about politics. It's about working together to make a change in our society. Because remember, Liberia is our common denominator. It's our common denominator. That means that's the bottom line. All of us can start fighting. And the bottom line is Liberia. And so looking at these different situations, look at the situation in Nigeria. Rights and responsibility. The duty bearer, which is the government of Nigeria, have failed. And it keep failing its people, the right holders. But keep trying to say they are giants of Africa. Then that's what I dispute. No, you can't be saying you are giant and your internal problem cannot be solved. You have those weapons. You fly into how to call it, Burkina Faso. Why are you flying into Burkina Faso? Going to do what? Look at all these things, which is good. Okay, we are Africans. Let us be realistic. Okay, and you have your right to fly. Everybody have the right to fly. But look at your internal problem. See about your internal problem, because Christians have been destroyed, their life have been taken. And you sit there as leader of Nigeria, and you say, well, no Christian have been killed. That's a lie. Then I come to the civil society organization calling themselves civil society in Nigeria. One other guy who is, I think, he joined one time with the USDS. Never have he come on social media because he belonged to a religious group. Now, the problem with many of our organizations, and I'm speaking here today as a person that have experience about many of our organizations are on the fence because they either been a religious connection. That means if they are not Muslims or connected to some kind of Islamic condition group, or maybe they want to just be on the side because something is happening that we as civil society leaders we cannot speak in Nigeria. We are silent, most of us. Let us ask ourselves, why did we come into it? So, my advice, we need to now understand that. Look, civil society must play a neutral role into government. Civil society are there for the people, except a civil society group was funded by a political leader. So he controls that group. So that means it's PSO, not CSO. It becomes PSO, even though it registers as a CSO. But it becomes a PSO, political civil society. Any organization that comes as a civil society group must not, it is a must, it's not an option. Prioritize talking about the bad things and forget about the good things. In a church leader or church bishop, any of us, forget about the good things that is happening and keep talking about the bad thing. You are a political church. You are not a church of Christ. Church of Christ, reconciliation, peace, justice for all. You can't be citing something that is destroying the life of people or that don't mean any good for people, promoting that thing and forget about the reality that this is what we as human beings, this is why we as civil society need to hold accountable people who are actually perpetrators of injustice, intolerance. So human rights should not be taken into in the other on the other side where people don't understand what it means to have responsibility, even though we have rights. So we forget about responsibility because responsibility is something that is hard to do. We don't hold ourselves accountable. We don't we don't even speak accountability again. We only speak about rights. So as civil society leaders and church leaders, let us focus on development. How do our members pay our tithe or our offering if the place is not developed? No light, no days, no water. They've got to hustle. And then you expect them to come to church happy, right? So if they don't come to church, we stay complete. So when things are going a little bit fine for our members, let us thank the people that are making the fine. Forget about political aligning or maybe because you are connected. Most of us are the shamefully, because we could be in the pocket of some kind of big person who is aligning with one of the party. So we don't want to praise the government. That is a shame. I mean, you depend on those people. And so the right thing that is going on, you will not say it. You will not say it. Let's be frank. We all will meet tomorrow. We'll leave this world. The legacy we set, it is what follow us. If somebody giving me money last year, 2 years ago, and because they are in maybe opposition, and I'm a Liberian, and I see something constructive happening for any government, and say, look, thank God for the government. Look, I never used to have water, but this time water is flowing. Why should I not say that? I never had light, but light cannot go. I will have to say it, no matter what, because the guy was giving me something. That's not being patriotic to your country. That's not being patriotic to our country. Let go back and sleep tonight. Those of us who understand what it means to uphold. Of everything will not be well. Oh, it's not well. People that are going to bed hungry. There are things that are going on which supposed to happen sometime even in America. Everybody have this different situation, but your government need to be buttressed. Tell the government thank you. Look, thank you for the little thing you're doing. If you think it's little, tell them thank you. I didn't have light constant. I used to use generator, but now I cannot even see my generator coming on. I never used to see water, but I see water. Oh, the road leading to this place here. Go straight. Why do you think I'm civil society? Why do you think I'm engaging? Why do you think I'm here? I'm here to talk about rights and responsibility. So if the rights of the people, which is to get water, safe drinking water, road is getting fine. A road to the marketplace is building little by little. Things are going on. Why would I not say thank you, government? That means God said when God said looking up and looking at my face. Let's be realistic, man, citizen. It's a shame to any bishop, to any pastor, to any civil rights organizations. There's no way that is saying to you that you are in favor of the government, even if you are in favor of the government, because the government is doing the right thing. You have your right. Because of conflict of interest, we don't put ourselves into a party, especially the people that us, so that tomorrow we're not going to be embarrassed when the party is failing. Because they are men, they are not God. They can both fall in the future, right? But when it comes to the reality of being citizen of any country, it's to thank God for something that are not happening for many years. We heard about the machine, right? Yellow machine. We're hearing about it coming in January. Now, you know the boost of that 285. Then agriculture tools. Now, it is not about politics. Let's be realistic here, man. And that's why it's good to be separated from politics as an organization. For the Stanton show, it's not separated against politics because there's no politician go there. They're not going to call me the day they invite me there. Stanton is not going to invite me again. Because you see, we have rights and we have responsibilities. The responsibility of when we talk about journalists, go back and learn your journalism good. If you have read a journalist, you practice to be neutral, to present a good case. I was talking about front page Africa. They got to get back on course, and I posted something, and that's why we're engaging. That's why we're on social media. Anything that is a lie, we're gonna refront it. It is going to be confronted with constructive confrontation, because we want for people to understand that it's not about politics. It's about people. It's about people's life. For those of us who are young people, I want you to take it very serious. Don't mind political leaders. Think about your future. Government in every country will leave. They're going to play the part 4 year, 5 years, 6 years. They're going to leave. Another government will also, in what 20 years it can take, they are going to leave. No country that is going to constructive thing, developing, will want to ever change any government if there's a room for them to continue. As long as it is a turn. Why? Because that country is experiencing too much good things. So why would they want to change something that is on the right trajectory, that even if there was election tomorrow, they'll say, no, we're not going to change this person. Even if we change them, we'll come in the next person. Why? Because the people want to live a better life. We are seeing in the world today that many governments are failing because of politics. Because if you're not there, that means the other person who there, whether they do good, we tell the people, the citizens, that they're not doing good. They're killing. People are dying, and this and that, which is not good. It's not a good repetition for us, our integrity. When I listen to the other guys, drugs have been one of the most harmful things in our country. Our country is small. We have small population. So if you have that kind of harmful things, and government sit there and see it, and then take any step. In fact, if they were involved as alleged, any government was lenient on that, then that means We got to pray for them to understand that when other government comes and try to do that, all of us have to be happy. The reason why we are happy, for me, I'm happy, is because our kids and other people, children, are getting involved into this prayer pressure and they're getting drawn to harmful things. And their life just is not a good thing. And the reason why politicians, if not all the politicians in the world that like to see it happen, they reduce the acute, the knowledge, the understanding, the response of young people so that they can be reduced to nothing. And then they use them when it's time to go to vote, use them to think against themselves. Those days in Liberia is passing. It's passing. It's passing. And that's what I can say. No time for political games. And I want to conclude as we look back in that country, even in Nigeria. Now, I was in Nigeria for 4 years. I lived in Nigeria for 4 years. It's a very good country. Got leverage, got good people, which is our big brother. If you look at the level of maturity they have when it comes to the government, they are self-centered on the religious fight. And Christianity is 50%, as long with the Muslims in Nigeria. And it's extending. It's a fear. Let us be realistic here. Those of us who are Islamic people, whatever you are in the world, you have your right to exercise which religion you can choose. But ask yourself sometime, why would our people destroy other people who are in different religion? Why would they destroy them harmfully? So the thing is simple. Religious tolerance. Give everybody right. I was, talking when it comes to human rights and responsibility. Go back in, how they call it, Sahara State or whatever they call them in Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso have a level of even maturity when it comes to Christianity because we have 40% in Burkina Faso to Christians. I compare to Mali and other countries near him, it's nothing. It's up to 10%. So in Saudi Arabia, you can't go there to preach. So there's no religious tolerance in some countries. So what I'm saying here, look, human rights is an entitlement. So if I have a kids, in my conclusion, I want to bring this scenario right here because I always bring in it, it's very important. And we have rights, we have responsibility. I'm not going to take somebody from maybe something happened. I traveled to London, let it agree, okay, and I got stuck on it. We're four children, and maybe two travel and the other two left home. But the two that left home are very educated. They went to school. They are Christian. Their life is very coming on very fine. And two that went to maybe one of the Western country came back to Africa, and then hello, we can. Oh man, we come from. It's good, but when they came in a different form. Their culture did not accept it. Rights, responsibility. The days of people lying to us of human rights have passed. Human rights is an entitlement to every individual, and that right must be protected by what law, guaranteed by the what state. So what does that means? I can't come from different country, forget about my culture, take another culture, and now I want for you to accept me in the house with the other two children. Whereas I didn't travel like that. So the father of that house will want to protect the two children because they have the right to be protected. So they said no. Even if they don't say no, the father have the right to say no. Why? Because he don't want the two children to be polluted by the two that left and came back. The same way of a community. Let's be realistic. Human rights is an entitlement to every individual. You come back with different things that you never went with. And that culture you came back to, that culture say no. Why do you think so? The culture is not going to accept you. And I'm not going to, human rights leaders never supposed to, would be able to force you in that culture because that is their rights. Your responsibility as a human being coming from that culture was to make choice. So the choice you made, that's where you're supposed to be because that's the choice you made. You see, human rights have been blind. There have been some blind human rights leaders because of money. And that's why have been a conflict in the world today. There can be no way in human rights, which is an entitlement to every individual. That right has to be protected by law, guaranteed by what? The state. So what guarantee will you give another community that said no to a group of people that is coming with different means? You know that in your own mind, they're coming to initiate. They're not coming just to come. So they want to come to over empower, overpower the other guys, which is simple because they're bringing money. So you see what happened to the world. So what civil society groups supposed to be doing and what we are on the community engagement level. We are a global institution. We believe in the bigger opportunities. We don't care about how we start, right? Because we have the vision according to the technical know-how and what we know and what is the best choice. That is what we teach you. We don't want to impress you. No, we want to say the facts. That is it. So you have your right. Go in the community, go to express your right, okay? And the community say, okay, but you know why? This is not our culture. We're not going to accept you because it's not our culture. Why? You have your right. They have their right too. The right to accept you or to tell you, well, it's not part of our culture. If we bring you in, you will pollute our culture. That is their right. Remember that. Culture. And that's why people got to go back to school and learn when it comes to human right development based approach to development. Because we learned it, but we forgot simple application. At the community engagement level with the Martin Luther King Jr. Legacy Institute that is coming up, we believe that people that goes to that institute, when you come out, there will be no compromise with the community problem. There should be no compromise. Our next section coming up with our training, we're going to be talking more about it in that section. But I want us to understand that is why, and in my book, The Essence of Human Rights, I asked each person to read that book. We're going to be launching it in February also. I believe that everyone has a right, yes, but your responsibility is to make choice. And I want to leave us here today and say, well, to all of us, those of us who want to be part of what we are doing, well, you're welcome. And we are talking to cross sections of different groups, different people, especially when it comes to the youth wing in the community engagement. We have very great, brilliant guy coming up. We're going to be talking to him because we want him to get involved. And we hope to talk to another. We have 3 person, and we're going to be selecting among the best 3. But again, we don't want to impress you. Okay, we want to also continue to pray along with our the Trenton friend group of friends that allowed us to launch our program, the intimate femicides, especially uh, when we had this, this understanding about creating more awareness. It was like, well, how many of our board or how many people attract to this kind of program? Well, it was seems to be not attractive, but now it will become attractive in the future later on when people realize when vision comes, you don't wait for people to suggest to you. I want to encourage those of us who are CEO, visionary, people who are taking up the vision. You're still carrying your vision inside of you. Matter of fact, that we can work together to make a change in our society. There are things that God have told you to do, and you fail to do it. And sometimes when you want to tell people the truth, they don't want to hear the truth of what you're saying. And the thing that, if you're a dubious guy, and I tell people 2 things here on Facebook, and I will continue to say it. People who are afraid of Facebook too much, most of us, I really having a little problem somewhere, maybe. Because I will tell you the truth. And if I have problems somewhere, I think I'd rather confront it. I think I'd rather address it because well, we are human. We can err. I would not lie. I'm not a perfect guy, but most of us think, well, coming on Facebook is so, So don't if you once you're afraid of it, that means something happens in the background. And I tell people straight, it is not about I don't want to impress people to say, well, you got to be in this meeting, you force so like do that. No, if you feel, two things I always tell people: if this is not right with you, take it out. Don't be part of something that you're not sure of, you're not guaranteed, you're not, you know, the mentality of Christian leaders in our empowerment programs. We must now start to empower the church. The church is not shouldn't be static on offering and tithe. With civil society, it shouldn't be dependent on grants, uh, donations, and no donation coming, your program not running. No donation coming for the program, but my program is running. Okay, until donation comes, I keep doing what I'm doing because I have the passion. If you don't have the passion for something, don't come into it. Because you put your own money, you put your time, you put your sacrifice to build it up with integrity. When I always speak about integrity, sometimes people will just think it's joke. I gave credence to who I give credence to. I don't have to talk about people who I don't have to talk about. Okay? But you have to appreciate people for who they are, for what they are doing, because it is because of them, we civil society, for Liberians, it is because of government today. That whatever government is doing, most of your members that comes to your church, ask them, go around and put microphone in their ear to ask them. You will be shamed, even though you're against government. But the reason why you'll be shamed, because most of our members in the churches now in Liberia, we're looking at pastor faces. If you're a pastor, listen to this. You might lose some of your good members if you don't put yourself together right now. Because no member will want to live on poverty or in a country where things are not correct. When things are correct and they living good life, and you the pastor, you want to make them to feel that they think it's not correct, they're gonna leave your church. I'm not telling you that they must, but they will definitely leave your church because now they will see that you are only a pastor preaching, but you're not a practical pastor or a bishop. You have something hidden agenda, and you don't have love for country. So I want to encourage all pastors and civil society leaders. From the revelation God has given me and what I see, many of our pastors in Liberia is in the box. If not all of us, not even as alleged, that we have claimed to a certain leader, that even if the other leader is doing well for your country, you don't say anything because you think when you say it, the leader that you are in the box with or in the pocket would not give you what they're supposed to give you or would not be friend with you again. God forbid. If you are a patriotic citizen or you are a real Christian, born Christian, you're not going to be partial. If you are a civil society leader, your mindset should be focused on your development yourself and doing the work that God has called you to do. There will be prosecution. There will be time that you expect people to give you money or probably things will happen for you and not happening. There will be time that people you think that will put you up will not. Will be different people that you will claim up to help you. And I want to encourage those of us who are there. I pray for the board of advisors. I pray that God give them strength and grace as we work on other things. I pray. My concern is not to impress anybody. No. If you're not faithful, you can't. I can't impress nobody. Visionaries are people that run visions, but they depend on people help them to produce the effort. If the effort is not produced, well, there are a lot of things happening in the world, and we are going towards that place. Let us not be self-centered. Let us not be close. Let us not be like a society. Okay, that means we close it up. The community engagement is open, but they're very careful about protecting the hedge. And I'm going to be talking about the hedge because many organizations are broken today because people penetrate the financial system, they penetrate a certain place, start confusion. Many organizations, even in Trenton, we have organizations that could be blooming, but because of confusion, by the time you see the money, your head getting big And you start fighting the person who fight for the vision, who have established the vision. We need to pray against that spirit. It's always Liberians. And we always not supporting one another. Envious, jealousy, and a lot. We need to pray against that spirit because it's wrong. Even if you see the person doing good thing, you don't tell them thank you. Buttressing their effort. It's a bad spirit. And we need to begin to embrace one another. That's all we can do to build our country. That's all we can do, Nigerians, to build your country. All over the world. All of us. Americans, all of us. That's all we can do. Embrace. Thank God for the life He gave us. Because God is so faithful. He's not going to leave you there. Continue to pray for our brothers, our sister who lost a life, a family. It's so sad to see those 5 children, or a mother, or a father, or a father is in jail, lifetime jail. I want to again call on all men. I'm going to be on TikTok talking about it this evening. I think we have an obligation. Our obligation is to walk away if things are not right. To our female, we can walk away also. We don't have to be in a relationship that is toxic, that is not understanding. We don't have to divorce immediately. We can walk away. I respect people who understand what it means to divorce and what it means. Well, when you're in a marriage that is not actually going in the right direction. I pray for you. I pray that God give you wisdom. And until we meet again, I hope that we understand what it means to work together. Civil society grouping, it is good to work. It is good to be together. But until we can understand our responsibility as leaders, we are not going to enjoy the fruit of our labor. And so I want to thank God for those who are watching and hope that we